On March 29th, the Russian and Ukrainian delegations came to Turkey for another round of negotiations. Ukrainian and Russian delegations have held 3 rounds of peace talks in person in Belarus since February 28th, and the fourth one started on March 14th in a video conference format. No significant progress was made during the first rounds. The only point agreed to by the two sides was the security of humanitarian corridors from the war-torn cities, but in fact no joint measures have been implemented to secure civilians so far. No agreements on other topics of negotiations were reported. A member of the Ukrainian negotiating delegation, David Arharima, clarified that there will be a 3-day round of negotiations in Turkey from March 28th to the 30th. The Russian delegation is headed by Russian presidential advisor Vladimir Medinsky. Ukraine is represented by Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov, advisor to the head of the presidential office Mikhail Podolyak, and representative of the parliamentary faction of Servants of the People, David Arhamia. The Kremlin confirmed the change of the place of negotiations after a phone call from the Russian president with his Turkish counterpart on March 27th. According to the press services of the Turkish president, during the conversation, Erdogan told Putin that a ceasefire and peace between Russia and Ukraine must be achieved as soon as possible, emphasizing Turkish readiness to contribute in every way possible during this process. As the Russian-Ukrainian conflict escalated, Turkey, as a major regional player and a member of NATO, became an increasingly important actor. Istanbul has deep strategic and economic ties with both Ukraine and Russia, and the Montreux Convention gives Ankara control over the straits connecting the Black and Mediterranean seas. Implementing its strategic position of a bridge between the East and West, Turkey has had a cautious political approach since the beginning of the Russian military operation in Ukraine, playing on both sides and securing its national interests. Turkey has publicly opposed the hostilities in Ukraine, but has not joined the Western sanctions against Moscow. This gives Turkey the space to implement diplomatic mediation initiatives without risking its relations with Russia and Ukraine. Amid the ongoing negotiations, hostilities continue on the front lines around Ukraine. No strategic victories were declared by any side for more than a week. In terms of tactical maneuvers, there were no particular strategic accomplishments recorded. The Russian and Ukrainian armies engaged in exchanges of fire on all fronts during this time. The main developments are reported in the city of Mariupol. The joint DPR and Russian forces are mopping up the central districts in the city. The remaining nationalist forces were cut into groups that allowed the acceleration of both the DPR and Russian armies. The main stronghold of the Azov battalion remains Azovstal. It seems that only the surrender of the Azov regiment could preserve one of the largest industrial facilities in Ukraine. Late on March 28th, the Russian Ministry of Defense reported that the Ukrainian Mi-8 helicopter, which was attempting an emergency evacuation of the Azov National Battalion commanders who had abandoned their subordinates, had been shot down near Mariupol, 5 kilometers from the coastline over the Sea of Azov. Without any significant advances, the offensive of the joint forces of the Russian Army and the DPR People's Militia continues from the direction of Gorlovka. Fighting began for the village of Novosilovka. South of Izium, the Russian armed forces continue their offensive towards Slavyansk. Currently, there are battles near the village of Dolina, and some troops of the Russian army are advancing towards the village of Kreshchichya. In their turn, units of the Lugansk People's Republic took control over the settlements of Ivanovka, Novosadovoy, and reached the line of Novoyublino-Terny. The other front lines on the Donbass remained almost without changes. In the Kiev region, the AFU repelled Russian forces from several positions near the town of Irpin to the west of the capital. In the eastern direction, the Ukrainian military claimed control over the village of Lukyanovka. In their turn, the Russian troops destroyed the 4th Operational Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine, which was based in the city of Gostomel. Dozens of Ukrainian tanks were destroyed and abandoned. Meanwhile, Russian missiles hit Ukrainian military facilities non-stop. On the evening of March 28th, high-precision air-launched cruise missiles destroyed a large fuel base near the settlement of Klevon in the Rivne region. Fuel supplies for Ukrainian military equipment in the suburbs of Kiev were interrupted.